Welcome to Dr. Rudy Kachmann's Wellness Talk today. This subject will be a little controversial, but I'd like you to gather some information. I'm not going to tell you what I think your thought process should be, but it's about marijuana. Our nation may end up going to pot. And that's what concerns me. But because the surrounding states, they'll try to vote it in. Colorado has it already, state of Washington, California, and they've had some problems, and we should discuss these things. I mentioned I was in the Netherlands recently, and they have it there. You know, it's also called cannabis or THC. There's actually almost 400 types of marijuana. It comes from a plant called hemp. And years ago, it's what we use to make ropes for sailing, for example. So it comes from a readily available plant. What I'd like you to do is gather some information. Here's a book by Tony Bennett, who used to be head of public health federally, and he wrote this book, and I encourage you to read it, to gather more information than I'll have on this post here. The interesting thing is that marijuana does have an addiction rate attached to it. In adults, about 9%, children, about 12%. If a child age 14 or so smokes marijuana, the odds of becoming a drug addict is quite high, almost 80%, for example. It can be part of other addictions, cigarette smoking, alcohol, and it is maybe not quite as addictive as a cigarette, but frankly, it's close to it. What they found also, what are the effects of marijuana on us, for example? It's different in children than adults because their brain is not fully developed till age 25 or so. They've shown on CT and MRI scan it punches holes in children's brain, and it does not repair itself. Like in cigarette smoking, it can have different effects on your brain and body, and over a period of months and years, a lot of that can be reversed. Not so they found in marijuana. It interferes with brain development in children, for example, and affects the memory too of adults, not just children. It also causes the munchies, where you want to eat more sugary and bad food, and a lot of kids who are smoking, and adults smoking marijuana, got pot bellies. What do you think that leads to? Type 2 diabetes and its 20, 30 diseases. It also causes some people asthma. It does have some lung effects, actually. And some people use it medicinally as medicine, and that's how these companies will try to introduce it to your state. So watch out for that, okay? It can help certain kinds of pain a little bit, but let's face it, it's a quick fix, puts you in heaven, and you're not going to be so concerned about your pain. For advanced cancer patient, for example, you might think it has some value. Also in the street now, it's much stronger than it used to be. I did notice in Amsterdam, walking down the street, they have what they call coffee shops there, and it's legal to a certain amount. But I noticed walking down the streets, everybody's smoking. They're drinking more than usual, so it hits your addictive circuitry, and it's usually not isolated to a person who just smokes marijuana. Most are drinking alcohol, they're smoking cigarettes, and you want to lead a life like that? I think twice also, once you legalize it, they found the use increases about 5 times. Availability and use increases tremendously. So that's another reason to kind of think about it. I didn't tell you what to do, but I want you to gather some information. Read this book, read some other books, and don't just vote for it. I'll go along with it. Think twice, because we are slowly developing an addict nation. people addicted to alcohol, addicted to cigarettes, addicted to technology, addicted to marijuana. You want a country like that? You want a family like that? I think twice about it. The effects on the children, we're harming and killing our children. Some of the kids even become psychotic. Yeah, there's a certain rate of psychosis associated with smoking marijuana. It has more effects on the brain than anything, but there are also some effects on the heart. It causes cardiomyopathy, for example, some effects on the lungs, increased rates of accidents. You're twice as likely to be involved in an accident if you smoke, and it takes much longer to get the THC, the cannabis, out of your blood. For example, if they check you for alcohol, the next day it's probably gone, but marijuana lasts maybe up to a week. So blood testing, could be a problem for you if you were in an accident, a few people were killed, for example, and they're legally looking for somebody to blame. You see the problem there? So what I try to do in this post, just to kind of wake you up, gather some more information. I'm not telling you how to vote for or against, but I remind you, it's along the addictive pathway, and who needs another addictive substance? What are we going to develop? An addict nation? We're close to that already. But I'll try to be open-minded. Join me. You'll be open-minded. So thanks for watching this post. I put it there because I care about you. And basically, I love you. See you during the next post. Bye-bye.